Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Safari Pedals Show. I'm your host, Abby. This is your first time here. Welcome to the Crazy Wild Safari Pedals podcast zoo thing bandwagon. It's great to have y'all here. I am particularly, I think that was good enough, excited for today's episode because Renegade El Rey is going to be on the show. He is a Grammy Award-winning audio engineer. He is also an artist, MC, songwriter. We are going to be diving into his audio journey, how being an engineer has influenced his work as an artist, and more specifically, how being in the world of hip-hop, especially being in Atlanta, Georgia, which is, I would dare say, the hip-hop capital of the world, how that all influences and informs the way that he works, his perspective on engineering, artistry, and all of that good jazz. So without further ado, so guys, please give a very warm Safari welcome to Renegade El Rey. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? What's going on, good people?
Dude, good to see you again.
Likewise.
Super pumped to have you on. Before we dive in to today's episode, let's start with who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
So for those who don't know, my name is Renegade El Rey. I represent my logo that you see here. This is my company, Southern Eagle Music Group. So whenever you see me, that's why I say Renegade El Rey, Southern Eagle Music Group all day. So I'm an audio engineer. I'm an artist. I'm a songwriter. You know, I do all three things. Luckily, blissfully, I'm able to do them all professionally. So we're juggling, but it's just the roles, you know, you just change hats as needed. I am the head audio engineer here at Stank On Your Studio. So shout out to Big Boy for allowing me to run his mothership. And yeah, we're working every day, all day, as you already know.
Hey, heck yeah, dude. I'd love to dive in a little bit and hear, like, in your audio journey, like, since you do so many things, what came first in the chain for you, and how did it kind of transpire, you can say?
Yeah. I've been an artist from the jump. So, you know, as far as making sure that, or not making sure, as far as wanting to get out that craft and just knowing that's what I wanted to do with my life, it was artistry from the jump. You know, I've been an MC, so I don't see that stopping at any point in my life, any point in my career. You know, luckily my career is continually escalating, should we say. You know, so that's a good thing. That's a blessing for sure. And as far as audio engineering, I picked that up because I wanted to make myself valuable, you know. So there's so many of us artists. You know, we some people feel we come a dime a dozen. I don't agree in terms of great artists, and I feel like I'm one of the great artists. But there's so many artists out there. It's like, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you make yourself a little bit more valuable? So I decided to go to audio engineering school, which was Full Sail. One of my buddies, he brought it to me as I was graduating the University of Memphis, and he was like, "Yo, we should go here. We should do this." So me needing another move to, you know, to keep things going in life, I was like, "Yeah, that's the next move." So we went down to Florida. Orlando, Florida, to Full Sail University, and I knocked that degree out. But during the course of that degree, I really fell in love with audio engineering, you know, and the goal was to have something else in my bag, if you will, that gave me that value, because I saw an interview with Kanye, and he would talk about how him being a producer got him in the back door, you know, to be in the sessions with people, and then he can play his music or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll do engineering and I'll do it that way. So as I delved into audio engineering at Full Sail, I started to really like it. You know what I mean? I started to really love it. So just continuing that, and me being my own guinea pig, if you will, in terms of EQing and how to record things, how things come out, stacking vocals and all of that, I really began to feel how to maneuver the colors. And then that spilled into me recording other people. By then I was an intern here at Stank On You, you know, and that just, like I said, it just spilled into me recording more people. And with every artist that I record, I learn something different, because it's not only recording and understanding vocals, understanding how to manipulate sound, but it's also dealing with people, you know, so it's a psychology type thing. So understanding how to deal with people, how to get things out of people in terms of get them to perform a certain way, to be able to bring their their goals, their visions to life. Like I said, I learn more and more and more and more every day. I'm a sponge. So yeah, now we're here.
I'd love to kind of dive a little deeper on that and also perhaps approach it from this angle. Since you're in Atlanta, capital of hip hop, MC, you're really heavy in that scene. Has being specifically in the hip hop scene and also getting into the engineering side, how has it influenced your approach to mixing, engineering, arrangement, and that whole world?
They almost go hand in hand, right? Because I am an artist, I understand artist language, if you will. Because some artists don't understand how to verbalize what they want. How to articulate exactly what it is they want. Some people say, well, can you make it shine a little bit? You get what I'm saying? And for me, as an engineer, I compute that in, okay, let me add some highs to it. Let me open up the higher range. You get what I'm saying? And I say, well, it sound a little muffled. Can you, okay, now I know I need a little bit more mid-range. Or maybe they say, it sounds too clean. Can you dirty it up some? Okay, that means give them a little bit more low range for the vocals. Or you get what I'm saying? Maybe we darken up the whole entire track. And that's simply by adding a little bit more lows in the track. So for me, being an artist and being an audio engineer, like seriously doing audio engineering, seriously being an artist, and even songwriting, seriously being a songwriter, all of these hats allow me to interact with the artist even the more. And all of these hats allow me to push myself as an artist even more.
That's fantastic. Would you say to artists that since it goes so much hand in hand and it kind of expands your value as like the things that you can bring and expands upon your work, would you say to them that go pick up audio engineering as a tool, like that it's something worthwhile for everyone to do?
Yeah, personally, I would I try my best to tell all my clients, a little bit audio engineering wise, because they need to know. So if you can't articulate it to me, and then I translate it the way that you want it to be, and then we see that we are on the same page, now you should know how to articulate that to the next engineer. And the next, and the next, and the next. So wherever you go, take that with you. That's even like some of the small things like file management and keeping your hard drives organized. I'm like, hey, we can't find what we need for you if you don't keep your hard drive, organized. Furthermore, from that, keep a hard drive. Some artists, they just float around. They go from studio to studio, and then they might have, oh, I got the song in my email. All right, boom, send it to me. So then now they send it to me and they want me to correct something or fix something or help them add something, but it's a 2-track. Do you have the session? Oh, no, I got to track down the engineer. Oh, I got to track down the producer. No, you should have had that on your on your external hard drive from the jump when you left. You get what I'm saying? Or if you don't have a external hard drive with you when you're in the studio, how about you make a copy of that session right then and there and send it to yourself? So when you get home, when you get to wherever you're going, now you can download that and then put that on the hard drive. Maybe you don't travel with your hard drive. I know a lot of times, especially these days, I don't travel with my hard drive because I don't want anything to happen to it. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to get caught up with something, get detained. I don't got my hard drive, or anything can happen that we learn has happened to so many other artists. So it's like at this point, sometimes I might float around with no hard drive and I'll send it to myself. Send it to my Google, upload it to my Google Drive. You get what I'm saying? But as long as I got a copy of that session, once I get back to Atlanta, now I get in the studio. The first thing I'm doing is going back and downloading all the material that I did when I was away and organizing it and making sure my file management is on point. So to answer your question in totality, I would definitely tell artists to pay attention to your audio engineers that you're working with. For one, because you can learn some things that's going to help you do things, but you're also going to pick up some things that's going to help you talk or communicate to the next engineer for yourself on your behalf.
So in general, this podcast, one of the central themes is starting out, being new, being up and coming. Do you have any pieces of advice from your audio journey that you'd want to specifically pass on to producers and engineers that are just at the start of their careers?
I would say maybe get you a good workflow going. That's definitely probably like one of the first things that I tell my guys when I'm working with somebody or maybe training somebody as an intern, or people asking me advice. Definitely want to get your own workflow. I try my best to tell people to not get so caught up in templates.
Mm.
A template is cool. A template is good to have, but in my opinion, a template should really be, just a good starting point. Some people, they want their template to be, oh, all I got to do is record myself and it's done. It's almost as if you mixed it, but every song is different. So now you're running the risk of maybe everything sounding the same, not really understanding what's going on yourself. In my opinion, if you're whipping it up every time, like for me, I cook to order. So, and what I mean by cook to order, my template is very, very bland and simple. So this way, as the artist is doing something, I'm watching them, I'm watching their emotion, or I'm listening to it if they turn the lights down. But I'm paying attention to exactly what they're doing. And now I'm getting a sense of what they're going for, right? So from there, now I can whip it to order. If you sound like you're making a record that's imitating the 80s, all right. So now I'm adding elements that an 80s record would have. If you sound like you're emulating a 60s, a 90s record. I'm doing all of these things right now because I'm in with you. We're creating on spot. I'm creating with you to amplify what it is that you're doing. So I say that to say I would encourage everybody to get a sense of workflow, but not pigeonhole yourself to a template. So this way now okay, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. You know what's going on, you know what things are. So it allows you to move, you know, at a rapid pace, but it also allows you to have to physically touch everything. You get what I'm saying? If you get so complacent in, oh, all I gotta do is record it and just put it on this channel, just put it in this aux, it's gonna sound like this. You get what I'm saying? Then now you're not really gonna vibe with the music. You just throwing everything in this bucket, throwing everything in that bucket. You get what I'm saying? Whereas if you
Yeah.
cook it to order, in my opinion, you cook it to order, you can create these buckets and such for these vocals to go to. So now, like for me, if I'm recording somebody, by the time we get halfway through the record, we're done. Mix wise, I'm pretty much done exactly what I know I'm gonna do. Especially if we're going through the whole entire record, you know. So we're going through the whole entire record. They do the hook, boom. As they do the hook, I'm leveling it out, balancing it out. Then we move on to the verse. Boom, leveling that out, balancing that out. We get to the second hook. I've pretty much got my mix where I want it to be. So now all I do have to do is drag and drop and put it in that bucket, kind of like the template example that I gave you, right? So once we're done, I might do a few other things, and that record is done. We bounce that and move on. But I start over the next record.
I see.
You get what I'm saying? So I start over so that way now I'm catering and tailoring the template, if you will, to this new record and this new vibe that you're doing. So that way now you say, what if, because a lot of artists, especially songwriters, they bounce all over the place. So they might do an 80s record, now, and then next they do a sci-fi record. You get what I'm saying? So if I got an 80s template sounding, and then they try to do some sci-fi, it's throwing a vibe off. So that's why I would say have a workflow. You know where you're going mentally in your workflow, but your template is bland enough. You don't want it to be whack. You get what I'm saying? But you want it to be bland enough but bland enough to force you to cook up to order, but have your tools right there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and I really really love, and I want to emphasize it the way you said cooking to order, because in my mind it clicked like, wow, I really got to put an emphasis on strengthening the muscle of also, I don't know if improvisation on the spot is the right word, but being able to, like you said, think on your toes and then not end up in a situation where if I'm away from my template that's all decked out and I'm in this new situation on a different computer, then I can just not kind of blow it, you can say, on the spot.
Right. Because now you got a workflow in your brain. So now to that, I would say that if I'm away from my template thing, I would say for mostly everything that I do, I use stock plugins. Besides like my compressor, my EQ, and like my de-esser, everything else is stock plugin. Because this way I know wherever I go, it's gonna be there. Now, for me, my template, I upload my template to my email because it's just a template. There's no audio files that need to be sent across the airwaves or anything. So I'll have my template either on a thumb drive or, like I said, in the cloud, right? So, or in my email, I could go to my email right now and send you my template. So wherever I go, I'm not without my template, but my template should pull up. And if it doesn't, like you said, now I'm not lost. Because if my template doesn't pull up or whatever, now I can simply go in here, create a template on that computer and save it. But my workflow is still the same in terms of how I'm thinking mentally.
To sum up everything we spoke about, I always love to ask our guests to either drop, it can be a piece of advice or anything you want to say to the amazing Safari viewer. So if you got something you want to drop to the people, you got the floor, as they say.
I'm always at a loss for words when I'm in these situations, only because it's like I can say so much, but it's like I need a question to spark it. So I guess if I got the floor right now, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm Renegade El Rey, Southern Eagle Music Group all day. I got a new record out called Little Bit. So make sure you stream that. You can go look that up on all your streaming platforms. As far as social media, Renegade El Rey is Renegade_EL_REY. But overall, as an artist, I would say trust yourself and believe in yourself. Understand that your vision is valuable. So you just have to figure out a way to make your vision that is valuable to you valuable to others. And that's how they buy in. That's how we all need to look at it as artists. As far as engineering, I would say know your value as well and understand that everything that you do is for the artist, especially if you're an engineer that's attempting to work with multiple artists, right? We're tools. It's not all about us, so be a valuable tool, and make, if you must make it about yourself, make yourself the valuable tool that you're always needed, so don't make the art about you. Make yourself the go-to tool to make the art better.
I love that. Renegade, thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to link all of Renegade's links in the bio, social medias, website, all the stuff. We'll put it down below so you know where to find him and stream his latest record, Little Bit. Hell yeah.
Little Bit.
Heck yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate your time.
No doubt. Appreciate you.